Even though Gilmore Girls, A Year in the Life had several problems, it surprisingly fixed Lorelai's worst crime from Gilmore Girls. Lorelai's love life in Gilmore Girls has always been an important point of focus in the series, especially with Luke and Lorelai's will-they-won't-they relationship and her on-and-off romance with Chris, not to mention her sudden breakup with Max in Season 2. The drama has proved that Lorelai is an imperfect person who's made several rash decisions, one of which pertaining to her wedding. A Year in the Life does its best to solve Lorelai's crime of getting married without Rory there. Lorelai's shocking wedding to Chris in Gilmore Girls Season 7 came as a heartbreaking moment for her daughter, Rory. Throughout Gilmore Girls and A Year in the Life, the two women shared an intense bond, making Lorelai's decision to elope even worse. Despite the criticisms about the Gilmore Girls revival, the sequel does fix Lorelai's mistake by having her wedding the way it was supposed to be, with Rory next to her. Lorelai getting married without Rory being there was an awful decision. Lorelai's decision goes against her bond with Rory. Lauren Graham's Lorelai and David Sutcliffe's Christopher sit at a dinner table in Paris from Gilmore Girls. Lorelai's decision to marry Chris in Gilmore Girls might have been Lorelai's worst mistake if it were not for her decision to elope without Rory. The fact that Lorelai got married to Chris, Rory's dad, without their daughter in the audience felt extremely insensitive and out of character. For years, Rory wanted a closer relationship with her dad, and having him back in her life via his marriage to Lorelai would surely be good news for Rory. For that reason, it was odd that Lorelai decided not to include Rory in the ceremony that would celebrate their union. The wedding could have been a close family affair, but the impulsive decision for Lorelai and Chris to get married in Paris took that away from Rory and rightfully offended her. The two have such a close mother-daughter relationship that they are more like friends throughout both Gilmore Girls and A Year in the Life. Rory's reaction to learning that her mom got married without telling her is explained by the close bond the two characters share. The shocking decision to elope without Rory stands out as the most inconsiderate thing she's done yet. A Year in the Life did Lorelai's wedding the right way, despite being the opposite of the original plan. The ceremony was close and intimate. A Year in the Life got it right with Lorelai and Luke's wedding. It was close, intimate, and beautifully decorated right in the heart of Stars Hollow. Most importantly, Rory was there to celebrate Lorelai's big day. The best thing about the ceremony was that it was a secret among Lorelai's closest friends. The night before the wedding, Lorelai and Luke snuck off with a few friends to be married in the Stars Hollow gazebo. This way, Lorelai and Luke got to share an intimate moment with the people closest to them before sharing the experience with the townspeople the next morning. The wedding featured in A Year in the Life was the complete opposite of Lorelai and Luke's wedding plans years ago in Gilmore Girls, but it was perfect nonetheless. Lorelai had originally planned a big wedding for June 3 back in Season 6. These plans were eventually cancelled after Luke discovered he had a daughter, April, and the couple decided they were not ready to get married. Even though Luke and Lorelai deserved a happy ending years before AYITL, the sequel did help heal some of the pain regarding their relationship by giving them the perfect wedding. Two characters were still missing from Lorelai's wedding who should have been there. Lorelai's wedding missed two popular Gilmore Girls characters: Emily, Lorelai, and Rory Standing in Gilmore Girls. Although Luke and Lorelai's wedding was perfectly fitting for the couple, it did miss two major Gilmore Girls characters. Both Emily and Sookie were missing from the Stars Hollow gazebo the night that Luke and Lorelai got married. Emily did appear throughout the sequel, but in the last episode of the revival, she had already moved to Nantucket, so she could not attend her daughter's wedding. Sookie's absence was more upsetting because she was hardly in the revival at all, making the empty spot next to Michelle on the gazebo even more noticeable. Besides Lorelai's missing loved ones, the scene also missed Luke's family. The larger ceremony with the townspeople happened off-screen, so it is likely that Liz, TJ, and Jess attended the next day. However, it would have been nice to see at least one member of Luke's family beside him on the gazebo. That said, so much of Luke and Lorelai's relationship is based on Stars Hollow and the locals that live there, so perhaps the intimacy of the wedding in Gilmore Girls, A Year in the Life was right to be reserved by their local loved ones.